Hi, it's Chris at Christopher Katt Fine Art. It's been a while since I've been on here. Um, Getting ready to continue my work on my original design for a Christian artwork. It's called God Does Not Rape, and to reflect back on it a little bit, it's a work that discusses the reason for evil in the world, the existence for evil, and how it is possible that evil can exist in a Christian based world. So, again, here's the work that I have so far. It's been a while since I've worked on it, as I've said. I've gotten distracted with commission pieces and some shows, some conventions, some other shows. And I'm going to be working in this little right corner today. And if the screen suddenly flips, my apologies. I don't have the the best setup in the world. But just do what you can with what you got. So let me get started here. And here we go. So, if anybody has any questions that they'd like to write in about or discuss, or whether you're an artist yourself, or a fan of the work, or both, or just someone who's vaguely curious, you can send those questions to Christopher. Well, that's not. It's Chris Katt Fine Art, and that's ChrisKatt. It's Chris Katt Fine Art at gmail.com. I get a little flack for that, for not putting Christopher Katt Fine Art for my email, but it was such a mouthful. And nowadays, I just figured the more people have to type, the more likely they are to mistype and make a mistake and then send the email to the wrong person. So, you know, people's spelling is not getting any better as time goes on. Kind of a beef of mine, but, and that I'm not even that good of a speller. But, so, I just figured that would make it easier for everybody. And I would encourage other artists to write in and, have any questions, or just want to create a discussion topic of some sort. Who knows? Maybe at some point I'll get slick enough with the tech side of this. I can incorporate another artist into this, and we can both work on our pieces and have a little discussion, and I'll make this maybe a little bit more interesting. And so if you're interested in that, give me a holler, especially if you're really good at the tech side, as I am not. And wouldn't mind riding someone's coattails that way. So what's new? Let's see. I've done some shows, as I've said. Last year, I did a gamer convention in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's called Pentacon. Not in like Pinnacle's evil stuff or whatever, just like kind of like fantasy board game. It's a tabletop gaming convention, you know. So if you're into that stuff, I am. Those are the kind of shows I like to go to. So the turnout was not that good, but despite that, a very low turnout, I did amazingly well, and I was pretty happy with it. And let's see, I think it was also, no, was that October? I think it was October. I sat in at a show. It's called Apple Festival in Kendallville, Indiana, with my mom and stepdad. My stepdad, he is a blacksmith, a darn good one too. And They always do so well at that show, and I thought my stuff's kind of rustic, some of the stuff that I do, so I'm gonna, they'll have me in there, the festival. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring and see what happens. And I did a show called CincyCon last weekend. That was in Hamilton, Ohio, near Cincinnati. We stayed at a hotel that was god awful. I don't want to get into any legal entanglements, but being that I only know of one hotel in Hamilton, you could probably figure it out for yourself. Um, Maybe your experience might be different. Mine was terrible. Anyway, so it was my most expensive show for the year because I had to get a hotel room. Um, that's that's a pretty heavy expense to get over, a big hump to get over. In our case, even with the convention bonus, it was like a couple $100. So it's like I got to get over that. Plus my booth fee. And fortunately, my booth fee wasn't that much. But I had. It's just it was the hotel itself was a pretty big hump to get over, just to get into the black. Plus you got food expenses, gas money, travel expenses, yada yada yada. You get the idea. And again, CincyCon was a tabletop gamer convention. I wanted to try my hand at those. Kind of mixed results. Pinnacon was really good. CincyCon, I did not do so well. It's kind of a tough call because with any show, I really don't know until about 2 months after the fact, because I might garner some extra commissions that might make it worthwhile. I mean, with some shows, it's not immediate direct sales that really make the show worthwhile for me. It's later on. But I mean, we did cover all our expenses. It made a little money. Certainly was not worth being there if I don't get any commissions from it. The people were really nice. I'm not criticizing the convention. Please do not take that. I mean, it was actually a really good convention. I would encourage anybody that's into tabletop games or role playing or anything like that, go check them out. I believe it's the same time every year, so I think it's like first weekend of March. They got a website, cincycon.com, so go check it out. Mark it on your calendars if you're local, or even if you're not local and you don't mind the travel to get there. Really good convention. Yeah, people were were really good. That's, I mean, in some ways that makes that kind of difficult for me. I almost wish people there were kind of sucked. So, but it's like, no, I didn't do well because it just, people just weren't into my stuff. And that happens. It's just one of those things. You just got to deal with it, roll with it, move on. And another thing that's different from what I do versus, say, make sure you can see this, versus, say, a retail type salesperson. They pretty much, they buy their stock, they sell it. They try to get a good price on it, and they try to, sell it at a good price so they can move it fast, so they don't have to hold a lot of inventory, and, that's how they ply their trade. It's not that way with an artist. And anybody who's listening to this that is not an artist, I hope that you'll key into that, because there's a reason why artists are rather expensive. You're paying for something that's handmade, and I know I probably talk about this way too much, whether on Facebook or on my videos or what have you. But there's a lot of time and effort that goes in this. I honestly, I'm starting to lose track on how much time I got in this. The hand of God that's up there, the one that's reaching out of the clouds, that alone took me 5 hours to burn. But as you can tell, I mean, it looks, not to toot my own horn, but it's pretty sharp. It's photorealistic. It's really nice. Not an easy level of quality to achieve in pyrography or wood burning. So I'm really pleased with this piece so far. I cannot wait to get it done and snap some photos of it, and I will have a better camera or camera phone or something higher dollar, higher quality when I take photos of this. Because if I can't, I'll take it to a friend who can. I'm not going to take any chances with this one. I got too much time, and this is kind of a personal work for me. It means something to me. It's one of those that, you know, if I can't get what I want for it to sell it, I'll be extremely proud to hang this on my wall. So, but I've been in a bit of a struggle lately. It's actually the same struggle, but it's coming a bit more to the forefront. Trying to figure out what direction to go with my art. Many years back, I had to kind of make a decision if I was going to continue to pursue my art. I had to eliminate a lot of things out of my life, distractions. You just can't have a lot of extraneous hobbies and interests that you're pursuing at the same time you're going after art. Art, if you're going to be a good artist by any measure, demands an excessive amount of time devoted to it. So, I mean, I was into tennis and tangsudo, jiu-jitsu. Like to play video games. A lot of different things. And all that stuff, unfortunately, I had to give up. Plus, I, husband, and I still have 3 boys, but they're all grown. They're all grown, and they're on their own now. How about that? A little quiet around here now. Sometimes that's kind of nice. Sometimes it's a little lonely, a little nerve-wracking. Life is all about change and adapting and moving on. And give myself a little bit more heat here. So I gave a lot of that stuff up so I could devote more time to my art and get good. And it was a little rough at first, but I was quite thankful I did it because, I knew a lot of people and that were kind of what I call start-stoppers. And I was one of the worst that I knew. Start a project and never finish it. And I get, like if I started something like this back in this probably would have gotten thrown away. Thrown away, or at the very least, buried back in the closet. It probably wouldn't have gotten thrown away because I would have been too distracted to even get that far. I would have never gotten around to cleaning out my shelves or my closet or anything else, It just would have gone buried and never finished. Along with many other artistic endeavors. And once I got rid of a lot of those distractions and clutter, I was able to focus. And it also helps when you finally find kind of your artistic true love. Okay, I'm not talking like your true love in a person, I'm talking your true love as an artist. The media that really speaks to you, or medium. In my case, it's wood burning. I did hand etching on granite for the longest time, and I do still at times enjoy that, but I got to be in the mood for it. And there's a lot of people that are floored when I say that. Oh, you're so good at that, and blah blah blah. It's like, well, I may be good at it, but it's not something I like to do all the time. I do offer it as a something I do commissions on, but I don't love it. You know, this I love doing. It's quiet. It's warm. The browns, the sepia tones, the coloring. I really love everything about it. It's very peaceful. It's calming. My stress levels have gone down so far since I started doing this kind of stuff. And the more elaborate I get with it, the more fine art and complicated and kind of pieces that I work on, the more I move in that general direction, the happier I am. I mean, I do some like kind of simple stuff too. And sometimes it's kind of a nice little distraction. Maybe would burn some dice or something, you know, I don't know. But artistically, I'm most happy when I'm working on things like this, complicated, big. Well, it doesn't have to be a big piece, but it has to have detail. It has to be kind of challenging, and thing I like about this, it's. I mean, if it seems daunting, whatever it is that I gotta do, just turn the heat down and I go slower, and I just take my time, take a slower approach until I get comfortable with it. Like right now, I could be using a different stylus for this to be getting what I need, but I haven't worked on this piece in a while. Honestly, I don't wood burn on wood canvases very often. I don't know. A lot of people might think it's kind of weird that I'm even doing that. But why not? It works. I don't like it as much as working on natural wood, you know, because this is more like a processed kind of wood. But it's okay. But, you know, the nice thing about this is it's lighter color, so my artwork translates really well. The contrast translates really well, and it's got this reinforced edging and everything, so it doesn't warp over time. You know, as long as you take reasonable care of it, and you know, it's ready to hang on the wall. You know, a lot of my stuff, I mean, it's more like you got to put it on a stand or something. I don't drill holes in it because I don't want people drilling holes in it. You know, it's a natural piece, and I want it to kind of stay that way. But before I went on that massive tangent, the thing I'm struggling with is like, I like doing fantasy work, which is where I kind of end up going to like gamer conventions, tabletop gamer conventions, and fantasy shows. I did a dragons coloring book that I illustrated. A friend of mine helped me with some of the technical aspects that I'm not good at, and yeah, so did that. But I do enjoy doing that. But I don't know. I feel like once again I'm coming at that crossroads where I'm dividing my attention, and it's costing me. It's costing me. Not to say that I can only do Christian artwork, but I feel like, you know, it's more in the sense that, not that that's a bad thing, but I feel like, you know, should I be doing more, focusing more on doing like fine art and do more kind of indoor juried type, you know, fine art type shows? Am I wasting my time trying to do more of these kind of like festival or type shows or conventions? And, you know, am I making a mistake by doing those? I mean, I really don't know. And if you have even 2 cents on the matter, I encourage you to write me or, what have you. You can also find me on Facebook. Be kind, please. But I welcome an opinion. Constructive criticism is fine. I don't have a problem with constructive criticism. I get irritated if people I don't know, are nasty. That I have a problem with. But, well, I can hear in the background the oven going off. My sweet potatoes ready. More information you need, I'm sure. But didn't get a whole lot done. But that's the world of pyrography. It's a lot of time for a little result. But the end result, it's pretty awesome, and it's nothing that can be achieved any other way. So again, look me up on Facebook, Chris Katt or Christopher Katt, Fine Art, and last name is spelled Katt. Or find me, or you can email me at Gmail, and that's Chris, Chris, Katt, Katt, Fine Art, all one word, at Gmail. Thanks for watching. God bless.